Okay, I have an announcement to make. This is my last video. Hey, Joe here. Thanks for visiting Road Trip Joe, and thank you for watching. You remember the video I made a few months back about the big build? Remember that thing, this thing right here that we built? And I haven't been here in a while. He tiled it all in. Our friend Mark came out and he put up some electricity out here and a heater. This looks awesome, man. You guys did a great job. For my announcement, this is not my last video, okay? But this is the last video that I'm actually charging for on Patreon. After today, after this video gets posted, everything's going free. Why am I doing this? Well, there's a lot of reasons. So, why am I doing this? Well, actually there are several reasons. The main one being this. I've had a Patreon account for a few months now and I have a grand total of 17 patrons. Not saying that's sad, far from it. I mean, I know all of my patrons and they signed up and forked over $2 a month because all of you are my friends. And that's what friends do. But I've hit a wall with 17 patrons apparently. And I'm not sure how to grow my patron group any larger. So I want to try something different. So I'm making it all free. If you watched one of my last videos that came out about Joe's YouTube life, then you know that I set all this up backwards. I was supposed to set up my YouTube site first, get some subscribers, and then launch my Patreon site. Well, I launched both sites at the same time and made the videos on my YouTube site unlisted, so only my patrons could watch them. That apparently was a mistake. At this moment, I have 17 patrons on my Patreon account and 16 subscribers on my YouTube site. That's right, I have more patrons on Patreon than I have YouTube subscribers. I never gave anyone a reason to subscribe to my YouTube site, and that was a very big mistake. The bottom line is that I just seem to be doing things wrong right now, and I want to fix it. Okay, another reason I'm making my Patreon account free is something that happened a few weeks ago. As you know, I have different levels of support as far as donations are concerned on my Patreon account, right? My tiers start at $2 a month and then they go to $5, $10, $25, even $100 a month. I think I have a $100 tier on there. Didn't get any takers though. Anyway, most of my patrons donate $2 a month to Road Trip Joe, and I can't tell you how much I've appreciated that. I have some great friends. I'm not getting rich, of course, but what has come in has been able to pay my fees for maintaining my sites, which is nice. And I have been touched by your support. Anyways, I have a handful of my patrons who are in the second tier that give $5 a month to Road Trip Joe. Well, a few weeks ago, one of my patrons cut their donation from $5 to $2. No advance notice, no reason given, nothing. All I got was a note from Patreon that said one of my patrons cut their amount from $5 to $2. Uh-oh. Yes, you can at any time go in and change your donation amount, up or down. And this one went down. So what did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong. I either stepped on a toe with a subject or with my opinion about something. Although I don't think I really give any opinions about anything. And that last thought made me stop and think. That's a good thing, right? To stop and think sometimes. I don't really put my opinions out there. Not really, at least not in my mind. So I thought about it for a while. Why am I stuck on 17 patrons? And why would one of my patrons change their donation from $5 to $2? That one kind of stung. I would never offend anybody, at least not intentionally. Well, my friend Steve, of course, I feast on him and he seems to kind of like it. He gives it back though. But I did ruffle someone's feathers apparently, and for that I'm sorry. So, maybe I've been trying to be too politically or socially correct in my videos, although most of them have been about travel and solar panels, the OK Corral, and desalination. But I did something that made them change their donation amount, and that kind of shook me up. I mean, these are my friends. So, what am I planning? Well, for the most part, my patrons are kind of a homogenous group. By that I mean that we, including me, are all around the same age. We're all baby boomers, and we all kind of think alike on most things. Well, except for my friend Steve. Steve likes to think outside the box, without the instructions, of course. But I see that as a good thing because Steve keeps me honest. But I put a lot of myself into these videos, and it's very time consuming, but I love making them. And I really would like to have a bigger audience. I mean a really big audience. I see these other YouTube channels and they have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of subscribers. And then they open a Patreon account and some of them migrate over there to support that particular artist. So I think there are two things I need to do to get there. Make my Patreon site free for now and then grow my subscribers on YouTube. Not start over. Just take a step back and do it right. Now, what does that mean for my patrons on Patreon? Not a thing. My Patreon site is not going away and I'll still be posting my videos on there. The difference will be that they will be free and open to the public. No more having to pay $2 a month to unlock any of my videos or whatever else I might end up posting. So if you want, go to your Patreon account for Road Trip Joe and cancel your payments. It's going to be free, at least for the foreseeable future. You can just follow me instead or just subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Now, if you still want to make a donation to Road Trip Joe, that's great. My Patreon site is not going away, far from it. But for my patrons, this will be a choice, not a requirement. Whatever I post on YouTube, you'll also see it on Patreon. So you want to keep your Patreon account for my notices when I do put something up. And I'll also be putting stuff up on Patreon you probably won't see on my YouTube site. I don't want to go to 0 patrons, so keep your account. Just quit paying me. You will still see my tiers listed on there. That won't change, and people can go in and change their amounts anytime they like. But when I post a video or a picture or whatever, I have an option to make it public, and that's what I'm going to do for now. So keep your account and just watch it for free. The other thing I'm going to do is build my YouTube subscribers. Not quite sure how to do that yet, but I'm learning. I think at the beginning I was hoping my patrons would share my links with their friends and I would build from there. Well, that didn't happen, and that's okay because I need to build that social network, not my patrons. Still, I'm not going to do Facebook though. That's a little passé. YouTube, yes. Instagram, yes. And yes, I have an Instagram account with a total of 3 pictures on it right now. Woohoo. So YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon are what I'm going to concentrate on now for the time being. Yes, this is pretty radical, I guess, but I'm thinking that over time I'll build my YouTube site and then I can go back to locking up some of my content on Patreon. Or, and this is what I really hope happens, I build my subscribers on YouTube, encourage them to support me on Patreon, but keep that content public too. I think that would be the best of both worlds. Keep the donations as a choice, not as a requirement. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is find that niche. I still want my friends and supporters to throw out suggestions as to what kinds of videos they want to watch, but I think I need to narrow my topics down a little to attract new viewers. I'll still make videos about whatever interests me, of course, or you, but from what I've seen on YouTube, the creators there aren't all over the place as far as their content is, like I've been. One other thing I've noticed is that the big YouTube creators also make it about them. I mean, for some of them, it's all about them. These people are celebrities, really. Not sure I can do that, make it all about me, because I don't have their talent. But I'm thinking I need to put myself out there a little more. Just a little, not a whole bunch, but maybe come out of my shell a little more than I have. But don't worry, I'm not going to start telling you what I had for breakfast. It's toxic out there, and I see what others have been through, and I'd really kind of rather avoid that. But if someone doesn't want to watch me, they won't. But for those who do, and they like my content, my style, my subjects, or whatever I'm doing, then I think over time I'll build that audience. And yes, it will take time, that I know. Now, getting 17 of my friends to pull out their credit card and donate money to Road Trip Joe every month has been awesome. I mean it. It's been just awesome. And surprising if you think about it. So my gift to you is to let you know you don't have to do that anymore. So go into your account on Patreon and feel free to stop that donation. All of my content on there is going to be free now. If you want to keep donating to Road Trip Joe, then that's great. Thank you very much. I have the best friends anyone could ever have, and I do appreciate what all of you have done. And recently I realized just how many friends I do have. I have a ton of friends, and they are all incredible people, even Steve. And I'm a better person for knowing all of you. But for now, it's all going to be free. And I want to keep it that way for a while, which is what I should have done to begin with. I'm a slow learner, you know, but I think this will get me to where I want to go. If I'm able to build my YouTube site and get people to get over to Patreon, then that's great. Let's do that. At some point, I might start charging again, but you know, I think this is the better way. Free is good, right? This will be a choice now, not a requirement. Don't leave me. I want you to stay my patron. Just don't have to pay me anymore. Let's see how this works. And you know, thanks for being my friend. That's all I got. Joe here, my friend Paul.
Hi guys.
Paul's very tall. Barry, this guy fixed your garage door. That's all I can say.
I was happy to help.
There you go. I don't know if you can see that. Got a new latch, got a new assembly, and now he's gonna go check it out.
Okay. Moment of truth.
Here we go.
Ready?
You ready? Oh, baby. Look at that. New little cord. Thank you, Paul.
Sure, Joe. Pleasure.
There you go. All right. That's all I got.